Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Well, this is not really a show as such. I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit, and I wanted to show you a few things. What I want to talk about, I want to talk about the oceans, and I want to talk about the homeless, because I see these as two huge problems coming up in the very near future. One is our oceans, and I'm going to tell you something that an awful lot of people don't know. Well, let me start the charts right here, and let's take a look. These are pictures of the ocean. The ocean's beautiful. You know how much of the earth the oceans actually make up? Is it's a lot. Right here, 71% of the earth is oceans, and they hold 96.5% of all the Earth's water. Can you believe that? And how much oxygen that they produce? Only 2% of the oxygen comes from other sources other than the ocean. Only 2% of our oxygen comes from all the trees you see and everything else. Now, most people out there, they think all the trees and everything in the forests produce all the oxygen. No, it's our oceans. And it's the plankton and stuff that's in the oceans, and kelp and algae. Let's take a look at the ocean again here. A lot of pictures of the ocean. It's absolutely beautiful, the ocean. This picture right here looks really nice, That's a tidal wave. Anyway, the world's oceans, have been having a lot of problems, and one of the reasons why they're having a lot of problems is estuaries. These are areas where the water comes in, like around where a mouth of a river or something might flow into the ocean, and it's an area where the fish tend to reproduce. They need those areas to reproduce. And oftentimes over the last 100 years or so, they'll build a factory right there where they, maybe a paper mill, and they'll dump all of their pollutants into the estuary. And it kills off all the tiny little fish, and then the oceans, those fish don't make their way out into the ocean, and that's part of the reproductive cycle of the oceans to keep our oxygen coming to us. Well, oxygen levels, have been on the decrease over the last 100 years. The oxygen that we breathe is not as pure as the oxygen our fathers breathed and our ancestors breathed in. And this is a very important thing, because as far as us and as far as productivity is concerned, we need a heavier, more rich oxygen enriched atmosphere. More than you start to rob oxygen, you don't feel so good. We don't notice this subtle change because it takes place over hundreds of years. And so this is the impact that the oceans have. We need to worry about our oceans. It's probably the most important ecosystem. In fact, it is the most important ecosystem because the largest oceans, the oceans are the largest ecosystem. Just like your body, your skin is your biggest organ on your body. And if something happens to your skin, you can't live without your skin. Take a look at somebody that gets burned, it's a big deal because their skin, and this is the way with the ocean and the earth. So this is very important. Now what I'm going to move on, I'm going to show you guys something. I bought one of these little trailers, It goes on the back of a bike, and I didn't buy it to tow behind a bike. What I bought it for was the axle, the wheels, and the steel frame, And I'm trying to make a small prototype, tiny home that's lightweight, that the homeless can take with them, like a turtle hauls its shell around with it. Her turtle hauls its home around with it. I'm figuring if you can make something that is extremely lightweight and is on bicycle wheels, it'd be really easy to pull around. It wouldn't weigh nothing. The whole thing, the wheel frame of the bicycles probably only weigh 20 pounds, and then another maybe 30 pounds of plywood. Build it out of lightweight 1/4-inch plywood and about 30 pounds of plywood, and make it just the size you need to sleep inside. Say about 6 feet long, right? High enough to sit up inside. It should be 4 feet high and about maybe 2 feet wide. A little door on it and big handles on it. You grab a hold of the handles and you just pick it up and you walk anywhere you want to go with it. And it's really easy to walk. It's easy to move around as moving a grocery cart inside the grocery store, In fact, it probably wouldn't weigh any more than a grocery cart. But it would give protection from the rain, protection from the elements, because, 1/4-inch plywood, it offers a certain amount of protection. Not only that, it offers protection from noise, things like street noise and stuff like that. They can take it anywhere they want to go, have a few little cubby holes inside it, a few little drawers inside it and stuff where they could put their belongings, A little tiny lighting system run off of LED lights and would run off of maybe a couple double D batteries. So they could flick the lights on and off inside it, And extremely lightweight and a very thin layer of insulation, some sort of a reflective insulation on the inside that would probably maybe have an R value of maybe an R1, It would also help to dampen the noise, the sound. You could even use paper as an insulative factor. I've been running through my mind the idea of paper. Maybe over top of the plywood, you could staple newspapers. Newspapers are very insulative. You get about a layer, about 4 newspapers thick, and then you could put a layer of something else on top of that. Maybe that shiny reflective. It's almost like aluminum foil sort of stuff. It's like they use in construction to layer one side of the insulation with. So a very thin layer of insulation, probably give an R value of about R1. But, this wouldn't be designed actually for... It's a lot better than sleeping on the pavement, with the wind and rain blowing on you and everything else, And not only that, they could lock it to a lamppost or whatever with a chain. They could chain it if they wanted to go inside a store or something like that. And their valuables, they could keep them inside it, locked inside it. And I think this is a huge problem for the homeless is having any valuables or anything, because other homeless people will steal it off of them and stuff. Say if they're sleeping in a tent, the wind blows right through the tent. They can't lock up a tent. They could lock it up, But this is not what it's going to look like. It's going to be a plywood box built on this little luggage trailer, sort of a deal. So that's what I got plans for, and I'm working at that. I'm working out ideas. I go on paint in the evenings, and I draw scales of what I'm the ideas that I have, of building this thing. And so far, that's how far I've got along in the project. Listen, thank you guys for listening to this show. I know I didn't talk anything about the virus tonight, but maybe I'll do a show on that later on. Appreciate my audience out there. You guys have a great night. Bye-bye.